Hey YouTube family, it's Ben
and Andrea
with VW Family Farm, and we have got a garden tour for you.
We are going to take you around and show you what's still growing in the garden. We do still have a few things coming out of the garden. We've started a lot more things for fall. Thought we'd give you all an update on some of those and just show you what's going on, because it's still full-on growing season here. It's winding down towards fall, but there's still a lot that can be grown from between now and frost. So you got sprouts to water, and we're going to go around and check what's in the garden.
And we finally caught all the little piglets that got into our floating row cover. I would like to look under them real quick, see how those plants are doing.
They thought we were just planting a fall garden just for them, for a little salad bar, when they've got all kinds of grass they can eat everywhere else.
So now they're put in the weaning pen.
So we've planted most of our sprouts, but we've got a few more sprouts going for friends that Ben needs to give a drink, and then we're gonna go pick a few things. So you ready?
Yep, let's go.
So we planted most of these. We showed y'all when we planted them. But these are just the few that are left. Trying to keep alive, and we still have like some Merlot lettuce sprouting, a few things like that we hadn't even planted any of yet.
Yeah, we still got some lettuce still sprouting. There's some new sprouts. But overall, I think we had a really good germination on everything else. I'll say it one more time. I love these seed trays.
Looks like you've got a couple Bloomsdale spinach. They're kind of been slow to sprout. But other than that, we've got everything in the ground. All right, so that is the floating row cover. It looks a little uneven in places because I've put some major reinforcement hoops in there just to keep it up in case we get a hard rain. You never know. Hurricane season, I know we're in Arkansas, but it can spin up some heavy rains in the fall. So from the duration this is up, it's possible we could get a few downpours on it. So let's take a peek what's under the row cover and see how the plants are doing under there. It's still scorching hot out here. It's in the mid-90s. So I've still been trying to give these a little shower, raise it up in a few places and spray under there, and just spray on top of it and let it seep through. But let's take a peek. All right, I quickly realized it's gonna take both of us to give you a peek under there. So I had to come back over here and find Ben. He's over watering the carrot sprouts. So let's take a look and see how they're doing.
We planted, I think there was 4 different types of carrots, and we planted certain rows of them. Just kind of hand scattered them. You can tell where I got a little crazy, talking and working at the same time. But we're getting sprouts up everywhere. That's not a carrot, that's a grass, but getting them all the way back here. There are sprouts in every section. One thing I have noticed is where I put some right here and we put the perlite over it and no newspaper. We got a little bit of a heavy rain and some of it washed over to that corner, so that's why it's all clumped up over there. But it looks like where he covered it with perlite and no newspaper, we got an excellent germination. It really did well in the perlite. All right, I'm just gonna raise it in a few places and shower under there. Should I spray him? I think I should. What are you doing? No, quit. Quit it.
Let's go pick. All right, guys, so a lot of times we thought we'd just kind of share some of our experience with you. We've just decided the tomatoes were done at this point, because like these tomato plants right here, you can tell they have seen their better days. They don't have a lot of new growth and life looking down on the lower portions, but these upper portions, this has just fell down, but it actually is from up top. Still has a lot of new growth and green. In the past, we would just rip these out at this point. We'd put the cages away and we'd call the season done. An older neighbor actually told us if we would leave these, you'll get a second crop of tomatoes right before frost. And it is so true, at least in our area. I don't know about everywhere, but these will put on a lot of new growth. They will start blooming again, and you'll get a whole nother crop of tomatoes. For us, if you leave them, you'll have tomatoes right up until the last frost. You can see some of these are starting to try to bloom up near the top. I see some blooms down there. See these starting to bloom? And it's the most hilarious thing. You'll have like dead looking plants that you're for sure are dead, and then they'll start doing this. They'll start growing like crazy on the top. Now they're never gonna look alive again down on the bottom, but they'll start growing like crazy and put on a whole bush up at the top, and they'll start putting on tomatoes again, just like this one. So if you don't have to have the space and you don't have to rip them out right now, just leave them and see what happens. All right, we grew the chocolate bell pepper this year, and that is just one we probably won't grow again. It's covered in these beautiful little peppers, and they're cute and they're tasty, but they're tiny. They're just not something I would probably spend garden space on. I was thinking they would be a big honking dark colored huge pepper, and they're not. They're just really small. If you like small peppers, they are great. If you want big peppers, I would probably pick something else. These are banana peppers from Baker Creek. They've done wonderful. We've grown these for several years. I like to pickle these, not with any sugar or anything like that. You could ferment them. They're a good pickled pepper. We like to eat like on salads and stuff. They're just our good faithful standby. All right, this next plant is poblanos. They have done awesome. These are from Baker Creek as well. They have a little kick to them. Whoop, there's a grasshopper. I'm gonna actually leave all these and let them turn red, and then dry them and turn into like a chili powder. They've been good. They have a little bit more kick to them than what we like, but all around it's been a really good pepper. And these are just poblanos from Baker Creek. That's all, nothing fancy. Okay, these last few I'm going to show you have been our absolute favorites. They were something new we tried from Baker Creek. These right here are called the habanada. They taste just like a habanero. When you bite into it, it almost scared me, like I feel like the heat's about to hit, but it just never does. It just has the flavor of a hot pepper, but they're not hot, and we've really enjoyed them. They turn this really pretty orange color when they're ready. They've been a heavy producer. They've been a great pepper for us this year. We'll definitely grow these again. Habanadas from Baker Creek. All right, this next one has been an absolute favorite as well. This is another Baker Creek seed called a nata pino. These are kind of suffering. It's still so sweltering hot here. But they're still going just a little bit. They're a jalapeno that's not hot, and they've just been an excellent pepper. These two peppers, the nata pino and the habanada, they've got a permanent spot on our pepper list from now on. All right, so this is the tomato row that we let climb the fence. It's worked awesome as far as for the tomatoes. I'll probably do it a little bit different next year and try to keep the bottom of the tomato plants more trimmed up and try to keep the weeds knocked out a little bit more. I put the panels off the ground about a foot, but by not thinning the bottom of the plants, it got hard to see what was weeds and what was tomato plants. So I'll probably start from the beginning, keeping them trimmed, because if you start trimming too far into the season, you're going to shock your plants and affect your crop. So I didn't want to do that. But we're going to take a walk up through here and just see what's left. I can tell y'all hands down for 2019, my favorite tomatoes were the paste tomatoes. I grew the Amish paste and the Opaka. Kevin and Sarah shared the Opaka with me, and I got the Amish paste seeds from Baker Creek. Loved both of them so much.
Hey Andrea, will you take the camera for a second?
Sure.
I've been sitting here while I'm filming you, but I've been eagle-eyeing these tomato plants.
Okay.
I'm kind of like a bird. I can pick them out. I'm getting better, and I don't even need no black light. Look how small this one is. Little bitty old dude.
Ew.
Look at this one. And I seen one more. Where did he go? Yep, I found you. Oh, we're gonna have to get the black light back out. I can tell you,
big one. Oh, they're turning your fingers orange, yellow, green, whatever.
I can tell you for 100% fact that the black light really works on finding these dudes.
That's still a pretty tomato for September. These are still going. Those are good looking little tomatoes to like throw on a salad, especially for this time of year. I think these might be the San Marzanos. I think.
I got one question. I don't know if y'all can help me out here. These things grow wild around here. Are these ground cherries? Look at that, Jewel, and we got another one coming and another one there. So excited. We have yet to get one off here, but I think we're finally getting there. Here's some carrots that I planted the seeds just straight in perlite and then put them in this aquaponic system where it wicks up from the bottom. This is just a test. I'm trying it out to see how it works.
Just an experiment, huh?
Yeah, I actually threw a tomato down there and now I can't even remember what it was to get the seeds off of it for see what it did. Volunteer lettuce.
Peppers.
Alright, these right here, I'm going to get with Baker Creek and try to figure out what they were. We actually picked a pepper out of one of their seed gardens and it was the best tasting bell pepper I've ever had.
It was red, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a red bell pepper, but I don't remember the name of it. But right here's the piece that I brought home. It just had the seeds left on it. I've dried it out and threw it in here. And I've got some sprouts coming up off it.
I know y'all probably do that too. Somebody gives you a vegetable and it's really good, that's raw, and you stick a little piece in your pocket to bring home and plant the seeds. Do y'all do that or is it just us? I bet y'all do it too. Here's one more of the grow bags with the carrot seeds in it, wicking off the water off the bottom so it stays moist. Our lemon is still going. Andrea, are you so excited? I'm so excited. That's a Meyer lemon, and that's the first lemon we've ever got to grow in here. And this spinach is amazing.
But it will take over.
That's good if you like spinach.
Every one of these are seeds. And what I'll do is I'll clip some of it off and dry these. And then you got seeds.
What do you call this?
This is just it's a vining spinach. It was given to me by a friend of mine, and when I ripped some of it down, the seeds just fell here and fell all over the ground. Look at this. These are growing in rock and nothing else.
One lone bok choy and some lettuce.
All right, I know there's several new folks around here that probably has not seen the thing that runs this greenhouse, feeds all of my plants, and here they are. I'll give you a little. I'll give you a little glimpse. These are tilapia, and they feed this whole aquaponic system.
And then I've told some of y'all before, but I love, love, love salad. And so that's one of the reasons we built this greenhouse, is to grow greens all year long. So I'm gonna show you the last bed in this greenhouse, and then we're heading out of here because it's very humid, which is a good thing for these plants, but we're hot. So this is my favorite bed in the whole greenhouse.
Got some kale left. I ripped most of it out during the hot summer.
More spinach.
This here's our amaranth, and it's growing really well.
And then
this right here is the seed that I have taken a whole trash bag full of seeds that sprouted up, and they were up here. I cut the heads off of them and took, I don't know, there's probably that much seed in the bottom of a trash bag. Took it to Baker Creek, hoping that they're going to start offering this type of lettuce. This is the best lettuce for a greenhouse in my opinion. It grows phenomenal. And then besides the lettuce, we've got different herbs scattered around. We've got some basil, some thyme, and some marjoram. A few little experimental tomato plants throughout.
Rosemary's over in the corner.
Yeah, some rosemary. More of the mere lettuce. If you can't tell, this is by far my favorite type of lettuce in this greenhouse. Woo! All right, it's getting pretty humid in here, so let's head to the back garden. Let's go clip some okra. One thing I would highly advise, don't touch that. We put this up to keep the pigs out, and it is hooked to it's a 12 joule fence charger for our cattle. So that dude right there will knock you on the ground. All right, now she's cutting the okra off. We've let some of it get too big.
I'm just pitching it to the animals. I'll keep what's still good. I've told you about the okra before. Both of them's from Baker Creek. Both red varieties of okra. I've liked them both. A lot of it's too tough.
Do you have a favorite out of either one of them?
I really like this one. Really like this one a lot. I think this was the Red Hill Country. Doesn't take you long of growing okra to, when you're picking them, to be able to feel. This one's soft and pliable. This is hard as a rock. That's not very good to eat.
But right now, just these few plants, we've got more okra than we can eat.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot.
All right, while she's cutting okra, well, let's go up here and look at the squash that we planted a couple of weeks ago. See how it's doing. All right, this is the first hole. This one was planted with the rabbit poo. That one was not planted with rabbit poo and nothing happened. Rabbit poo, and we got both seeds germinated. No rabbit poo. Here we go again. Rabbit poop. Both seeds germinated. Oh, looky here. No rabbit poop, and we got a sprout. We'll have to go back on our video where we planted these just to remember what we planted where. But you can look at them and see we got pretty good germination, and the ones with rabbit poop are growing phenomenal. Now if we can just keep a handle on the squash bugs. Alright, also while we was at Baker Creek, Lane picked up some seeds. These are cucamelons. And he planted them there. And there, and he's got sprouts. Alright, now that we've got the pigs where they can't get in here anymore, maybe I'll get a few more watermelon. There's one right there. Ooh, that one's already, yeah, that one's probably past ripe. I thought I saw another one. Yeah, there's one right back there. Hidden. Oh, there's two more. So we're gonna have a few watermelons. We've actually got one in the refrigerator that was out here that needed to be picked. Need to get it eaten. Also, when Kevin and Sarah came, they brought us a couple. So we're gonna have plenty of watermelon. We might even dehydrate another one or two. If you hadn't seen that video before of us dehydrating watermelon, it is delicious. We'll link it in here. That way, if you're interested in it, it tastes just like candy. So that's another way of preserving your harvest. It may not be the healthiest way because the sugar content is really high, but it's delicious and it lasts a while. The sweet potatoes are still doing awesome, and that's about everything that we've got going in the garden right now.
All right, so this strawberry bed is doing awesome. These are actually ever-bearing strawberries. Here's one right here, actually.
Oh.
Ooh, here, I'll let you have it. They're doing awesome. They're still growing, putting on a few berries. They probably need a drink. It's getting pretty dry around here. Here's another one.
That was good.
And then also in this strawberry bed, this is some wild purslane. This grows everywhere around here. I was pretty positive that's what it was. And then when Kevin and Sarah were here, I asked her just to be sure. This grows all in our yard and our gardens and everything. So, and this is an edible, I guess it's kind of like a weed, but I guess when a weed is edible, we call it an herb or something like that. I don't know, but
kind of like a dandelion. Most people consider that a weed.
Right. but if you know its benefits, it's a prized possession. So I know it's loud over here by the air conditioner, but this is rosemary. It smells wonderful. This lives year round here. It actually prefers it over here because it doesn't get as hot on this side of our house. This is the east side, so it gets morning sun, and then it's shaded from that hot afternoon blazing sun. So it's lived several years. It's enormous. So if you live anywhere around, like in the south, or I know the traffic's loud. I think this is zone like 7B, borderline 7A. It grows great outside here. All right, I've also got these 3 herb beds that I've had forever. They're made out of old tires. I probably wouldn't do that again, just the more and more we've got into natural things, but I already have them, so I'm putting them to use. I plant things like flowers and some herbs in them. I don't harvest root crops out of these. I plant those elsewhere. This just has things like comfrey. I have some yarrow or yarrow, however you want to say it here. I've got all kinds of little things growing over in here, mullein and horehound and all kinds of herbs that I'm just harvesting the leaves for medicinal purposes.
There's a praying mantis.
There's a praying mantis. That's cool.
He'll go in the greenhouse.
I've got one more little herb bed that's got things like oregano, parsley, and sage and things like that in it, and it's growing good as well. So I think that's pretty much the grand tour. We've got all kinds of little small fruit trees, but they're not super impressive yet, not giving us tons of fruit. Blackberries are done, blueberries are done. So it's pretty much time everything's wrapping up around here except like the fall crops we've got going.
Yep.
I'm kind of ready for a break. How about y'all? I'm looking forward to fall, fires,
deer hunting,
apple cider,
deer
pumpkin
hunting,
spice,
deer hunting.
I think that's it. I think that's the full tour for today.
Hold on. What are you ready for?
Deer hunt. He hears deer hunting and he comes running.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's the full tour for today.
All right, guys. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us, going through our garden tour. Oh, do you notice anything different? Go down there in the comments and tell me what it is.
What do you see different?
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. God bless.